Ladies and gentlemen, I have something a little bit special here today. This headset that was sent out from FIFINE. This is the H9 Ampligame Headset, and shout out to FIFINE Ted for sending this out for review. Now, just for clarification, all my opinions that are going to be said are mine alone, not being sponsored for this review. I'm just going to give an honest review for you guys. So let's get into it. First, let's go over the specs of this bad boy, shall we? The weight of this is about 260 grams without the dongle. The drivers are using 50mm dynamic drivers, and the impedance is about 32 ohms, so very easy to drive, can be used on a headphone port on a controller, or even a simple port found on your computer. Just to clarify, this headset can be found for about $37 US on FIFINE's website, or if you're based in the UK, such as myself, you can find it on Amazon for about £50. So when I got told that I'm going to be reviewing this product, it was going to be very interesting because right now my main headphones is the Sennheiser HD560s. Phenomenal headphones, love them for everything that I use them for, which is editing, gaming, and just general stuff. So I thought to myself, how are these going to stack up to these? But more importantly, how do they do for the price range that they're offered for? Quite honestly, they surprised me a little bit more than I expected. There's a lot of things that it gets right, but there's also a couple of things that it got wrong. So to start with, these headphones are very, very comfortable. They have a very similar frame and design to something like the HyperX Cloud Cores, very popular gaming headsets, and I can understand why they took these as the base and built upon it. Now, another thing you'll notice is there's no detachable cable, there's no swivel, but they're still very, very comfortable, and I can wear these for a good amount of hours with not much clamping force on my head, and I have a fairly decently sized head. Another thing that I've noticed about this is just how well built this is. Considering the price point, I was expecting a bit of flimsiness, a bit of, somewhere where they would show a bit of, cheapness, but quite honestly, the build quality is absolutely sublime. Nice leather on the headband. It's very comfortable with the foam padding in there. Nice indication whether that's right ear or the left ear. And as you may have noticed, there's a little slot here that you can use to pop in your microphone. The microphone quality, which we'll be getting onto later, is very good. I wouldn't say it's outstanding, but for a gaming headset, it's better than some of the ones I've seen from some other big brands. However, when it came to the other aspects of this headset, it did fall short on a couple of things. Now, I'm not going to get into sound performance just yet because there's a couple of things that I want to bring out that I've experienced on my copy. I don't know if this will apply to every other copy, but it's something that I've noticed. So for starters, you'll get this when you get the headset, and I'll actually just show you a quick unboxing of what I got right now. So it comes with the headset, came with the microphone attachments for the headset, and also it came with a dongle, which allows you to create 7.1 surround sound. Not create, sorry, but basically have 7.1 surround sound on the headset. It's not really something that I think many headphone users should go for. The 7.1 surround sound doesn't really sound good. It boosts the highs a bit too much. I'm not much of an audiophile, but for me, it just sounds a bit airy. There's not much emphasis on certain footsteps. For me, it's just something I didn't really want to use all that often. So to me, it was a decent attempt, but something that I didn't think was needed, and it could have cut down the cost a bit. Now, the dongle had a couple of issues. So for starters, I can use this to turn up microphone quality or the microphone levels, but when I'm trying to change the headphone levels, so actually hearing stuff going into these, plus button don't work. I couldn't increase the volume on my headset. It was broken. I can only decrease the volume button. So every time I press up, it didn't always work. When I press down, it didn't work. So I was a bit disappointed in that, but hopefully this doesn't apply to every other copy that gets received, but it's something that I've noted. So if you do rely on something like this to control your headphones, I would not be trusting the dongle, mainly because the plus button doesn't work, so you can't increase the volume, you can only decrease the volume. This was a bit of an issue for me, it really wasn't, because I have my own small DAC on the side where I can adjust the volume if I really needed to, and I usually keep things at a certain level anyways. It just meant that I had to go into Windows, increase the volume, and then not touch it again. It was just something as simple as that. Now, you also get a nice little clip, so you can clip this on anywhere, on your shirts, on your hoodie, wherever. And then, of course, if you don't want to use it like that, and you just want to plug it in, you can. This does plug out, and you can plug it into somewhere a bit closer. But if you want to use the microphone, I would recommend plugging it into the dongle, and you also get a bit of extra length. So something to keep in mind. Another thing that I've also noted is that I tried using this on a USB docking station. Had a couple of bits of issues here and there with disconnections from my headset. So I decided to move everything away onto the motherboard, and I had no issues whatsoever. So my recommendation, if you're going to use this USB connection, put it into the back of your motherboard instead of a USB dongle or extender. It just saves you a lot of trouble. So for a sound comparison, this is coming from my baseline. This is the Shure MV7, which I currently use to record my voice for all my videos. Love this microphone. It's a USB connection, but can also go to XLR. Highly recommend this for a lot of content creators, but I'm using it as a baseline. The bass is pretty nice. It can pick up pretty good. The only downside is the microphone pop filter is not exactly great. You're better off getting the SM7B one, but for control purposes, this is what my microphone sounds like, the Shure MV7. Now let's switch over to this bad boy. Okay, here we are with the microphone quality from the FIFINE H9 Ampligame headset. Now, this is quite a sensitive microphone, but to be fair, it's actually one of the better microphones that I found on the headsets. The SteelSeries headphones that I've used back in the day were not really that good. Maybe they've changed, especially the Arctis Nova Pro. I'm hoping it will be a bit better, but for a £50 gaming headset, a lot of my friends actually said that it wasn't too bad. It was actually pretty good for what it was. Mainly, it was just very sensitive. So if I was to, example, click a couple of keys, like let's say do it like this. You could kind of hear it in the background, but mainly if you're doing, you'll notice it very much straight away that it will pick up on the key clatter, and there's not really any way that you can basically modify it to, as far as I'm aware, to be able to mute the sounds of, say, key clatter. But to be fair, I don't want it to be like that. I like a more cleaner representation of your voice. I don't want something to be modified to help keep down key clatter, or if you're typing on your keyboard or whatever, I like something that picks up my voice pretty much decently, so that whenever I'm making calls in Siege or talking to my friends in Discord, they can at least hear me very audibly and very clearly. So overall, I'd have to give the microphone maybe a 7 out of 10. It's very good. I feel like it could just tone down a little bit on the sensitivity, boost up the bass a bit more, but it's on the right track, and it's a very good headset for that. Now, to the sound quality coming from this headset, this is going to be obviously the most important thing, because you want it to sound good when you're listening for enemy footsteps in Siege, or if you're playing games like, League of Legends, you want to hear for certain sound cues to know when abilities are going off. And the sound cue that come from this headset is very clear, it's very audible, it's very, very nice. A lot of things have a bit of punch to it, although I think the bass can be a bit too much. It can become a bit fatiguing with the sound signature that they go. They definitely go for a bit more of a V shape, so you can really hear the emphasis of, gunshots, but you can also hear, the subtleties. But I feel like with how it's being basically presented to you audibly, it can become very, very fatiguing compared to something like the Sennheiser HD560s, where they're a lot more analytical, but they're actually done in a way that's actually less fatiguing and more smooth. I wouldn't say they're like a very warm playback, but to me, the Sennheiser HD560s, I could go for very, very long sessions without feeling fatigued from just listening to so many sharp sounds and the like. So for me, if they could tune this down, personally, I think this could be an absolutely phenomenal headset. But again, for £50, I have to say, a lot of gaming headsets in this sphere, you really shouldn't be looking anywhere for them. And this is one of the times where I actually say that this is an exception. And the reason is because the sound quality that you get usually comes with a compromise at this price point. And a lot of the times I would actually recommend that people that are looking towards the £30 to £50 range are better off just, going for a different product like an IEM or an in-ear monitor, as you'll get something a lot better out of it. Sure, you'll have to find a sacrifice by getting something else for the microphone quality, but a lot of gaming headsets are just not that good. Not for this, however. This I could actually recommend to a certain degree. This is a fantastic level headphone that I could recommend to a lot of people. Like I said, there are a few caveats that make me a bit apprehensive to do a full-on recommendation for this product, mainly because of the broken features that have happened, which is, to be fair, the dongle not working as well, having one of the buttons not working. And I feel like if they got rid of the 7.1 surround sound, which I haven't checked their alternatives to see if they have an alternative, if you didn't have a 7.1 and could bring the price down even more, I would say this is an absolute steal. This is still a very, very good product for what it is. I highly think that this is one of the best gaming headsets that you can get within the £60 price range, because quite honestly, the competition is just pretty bad. And even stuff that is around, let's say, £100, like the Razer Kraken or the Black Sharks, certain Black Shark models, or if we're going to the Corsair headsets, some of them will just have too much bloat, sometimes with software. And for this, it's driverless, it works out of the box, it's easy to use, and I had a lot of fun using them. Will they replace my 560s? No. No. They cost me £200, of course they won't. But as an alternative, if I had nothing else to use but these, I'd be pretty happy with these. In fact, I'd be very happy with these.